Hey, pick 'em pie, big gun Brian Petrie, giving out the lot. One is mortal, you know it won't miss. Gonna take a shot, dog lot, that's the underdog. Yeah, they in the hunt. Send them homeless, KO or submission. Yeah, somebody done. Slime ball, yeah, that's the parlay. We gon' make it known. Pick 'em pie from MMA tapes. Yeah, let's get it
I gotta know
going.
who does this music, man.
Woo! What's up, baby? UFC Seattle Pick'em is here. I have with me a new guy, a gentleman who is first time on the podcast, this podcast at least. I'm not going to give your government, but I could. You introduce yourself. I am Saturday on Twitter. Very funny guy, very sharp guy. Just chatted with him for about, 10, 15 minutes before we went live. I told you I'm opening up the doors to get the boys on. And this is a guy who I think is very, very funny on Twitter. And I want to see him. On the show. And we got another chat here. Trindaddy, Big Billy, Gold Hammers on the thumbnail. Welcome on Saturday. What's good, chat? Time to get money. We got Jeannie. This is Jeannie Douglas right here. BP, let's get it. That's a day one right there. Lazy Bed, one of the best commenters in the game. Hey, yo, boys, let's go. What's up, Lazy Bed? All right, I am Saturday. Introduce yourself. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the Thunderdome, baby. You know, we pick winners here, bub.
Dude, I'm stoked. I'm so very appreciative of your platform. Long-time Anakin Florian listener. So, I mean, you and I just talked for 15 minutes beforehand, but 2.5 years, dude. Haven't missed an episode of Anakin Florian. I tune in every single week. And I said it in the DMs. I said it when we were talking before, but just a rare mix of entertaining and knowledgeable, and that's not something that you come across very often, dude. So very, very appreciative of your platform. You didn't need to offer me the invite, and I'm appreciative, dude. So thank you so much for having me, and stoked to be talking to you, dude. Totally honest. Like if you asked me to do an hour conversation offline to just nerd out about fights, I would 100% been in.
I love it. I love your passion, brother. I love that you love this game. Again, I am a active Twitter user with you. I love when you're posting, you do your videos, you do your picks, you do your own thing. I love that. And I love that you came on here, man. Like when I was thinking about opening it up, because I've been kind of closed off with guests, Christian and Timbo were kind of integrated in. And then, of course, I got to throw the big dog Evan Goria bone every once in a while. Get that guy on here to get some ratings.
He knows his stuff.
He's smart. He's in Arizona. I go to bed early, and I wake up to 15 texts from Evan Goria throughout the middle of the night. Like, dude, I think Ankalaev's going to win. Am I crazy? And I'm like, Evan, I'm in bed at 9, which is 6 your time, dude. I'm fucking out. But I love his passion, dude. He's an absolute mensch. He's a great guy.
Well, actually,
but yeah, when I was
a little bit of a go ahead, man.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Oh, you got it.
I have a little bit of a vendetta against him because he tore up the AL East for a long time. I grew up in Boston, grew up in New Hampshire, but high school in Massachusetts, diehard, Red Sox fan growing up, and that guy tore it up for however long with the Rays.
Sure.
And MLB All-Star, right? He might have won like a couple hitting awards. Like the guy was filthy at one point.
I'm not a huge baseball fan, which is embarrassing, but I believe he's got a Silver Slugger. I know he's got a couple Gold Gloves.
Yeah.
He was Rookie of the Year, and what matters to me the most, motherfucker was on the cover of a video game. Like what? Like, bro,
which is dope. Yeah.
Every game I've ever played, I've created myself, and this dude's on the cover of it. That's sick. And he's just a really good guy. Like I couldn't believe. I still remember the day I got the DM when I joined the Anakin Florian, he like DM'd me on Instagram, and I was like, is this real? Like, am I getting what the fuck? Because obviously, even not being a big baseball fan, I knew who Evan Longoria was.
Yeah.
But listen, so you grew up, you're Northeast boy. Cincinnati and Northeast guys, they have very similar personalities. I know we're considered Midwest, but I really think we're more of an East Coast city. Busting balls, thick skin, the same sense of humors. But you went to high school in New Hampshire. Is that why you don't have that Boston accent?
Dude, so I have like a kind of just a gnarly life story that's insane a little bit, but grew up in New Hampshire, super small town, southern New Hampshire, and then ended up going to high school in Massachusetts. My dad was like this entrepreneur, Navy veteran, and then I have like this psycho ex-Navy SEAL brother as well. So I come from like a Navy family, and high school rolled around, and I didn't necessarily know what branch. I knew I was going to go in the military, didn't know what branch I wanted to go into. So I started applying to like these things called Federal Service Academies, and I would go into these meetings at like 16 years old, and anyone that was like interviewing me would be like, hey, dude, you have like the worst grades of anyone that has ever come into these meetings. Like, you're an idiot. And so I would go in, and eventually I found like this loophole to get this thing called like a conditional appointment to the United States Merchant Marine Academy in Long Island. I know you mentioned that you had family in Long Island. Either way, and so they sent me down to Roswell, New Mexico for a year, and then eventually I end up getting into Merchant Marine Academy. I go there for like 2 years. I worked on a cargo ship for like 5 months. And then I go back from this cruise on a cargo ship. Bear with me here. And I wrap up my sophomore year. I go out golfing, golf cart flips. I break my neck.
Neck. You break your neck.
I'm taking this from a power wheelchair, dude. I'm paralyzed. I'm quadriplegic. So it's like I like break my neck, end up paralyzed, and then spend like 6 months in the hospital, and then like another year, like a year to year and a half, doing like full-time outpatient rehab, and then ended up starting at this company called O2X Human Performance. And we were like a startup with like 7 people at the time. We now employ 80 people, and I run all their marketing. So just like crazy story. If you see me recording, I record all my videos in my car. Yeah, it's easy for my phone to be held up. Like my hands are always just flopping all over the place. My hands don't work, dude. So it's like this whole insane like story of me just kind of learning a lot about like resilience, perseverance. And I started working, as I said, at this company called O2X, and we work with military and first responder populations, kind of just doing like holistic well-being programs. We like embed specialists at these organizations to help with health and wellness, and it was just like an awesome fit for me. And I ended up loving marketing, and I wanted to get better at public speaking, and I was super passionate about MMA and the UFC, and so I just started recording videos in my car to kind of just get better at talking publicly. And now here we are, dude.
Oh my God, that is a story, brother.
Also, dude, I do want to say condolences to you and your family.
Thank you.
Your mom, dude. Super sad story. But I was, when I was in these rehab facilities after I got hurt, I was on the same rehab unit as stroke patients, and so I don't understand. I understand that I don't understand. The struggles that go into that, and condolences to you, dude. I felt like I resonated with that story on another level. So my thoughts to you and your family, man. A tough situation, and I would, I know you were talking about it on your episode before, but just I would encourage you to not feel guilt about your situation, to attack it, and to move on, dude, and embrace those struggles head on. That's what I found to be successful. So that's
awesome, man. Thank you for that advice. Thank you for sharing that with us as well. Yeah. That's pretty incredible. So like, are you? I knew none of this about you, and I don't want to pry too much, but are you walking?
No, dude, paralyzed, bro.
Oh,
paralyzed,
man.
Like, quadriplegic, all 4 limbs. And dude, it happened a decade ago. So I'm 30 now. I just turned 30 like a month ago. And so like again, it happened when I was 21 years old. Old news. At this point, not something that I advertise, not something that I hide.
Obviously
it's one of those things. And either way, so yeah, just like I learned, dude. It's 9 years in at this point, and it's something that I've become weirdly thankful for because of the lessons that it's offered me, man. That's the God's honest truth. And and to be honest, like my journey into like UFC, as we were talking about before, I had no idea. I'm a textbook ESPN era fan, and in 2019 when they signed the ESPN deal, I had no idea that fight nights were a thing or anything, and I ended up building like this discipline plan for myself that I call DILF. Discipline is living freely. And either way, I built in taking notes on UFC fights into that plan that I follow every single week. And so that's kind of just snowballed. And now I have, however many entries it is over the past, like 3 or 4 years of just and literally every single fight that has taken place in the UFC male divisions. And I love, dude, and I'm also a sick fuck when it comes to gambling. Sure. So I love the wager. And so that's it. Love it. I know that's kind of a lot, drinking through a fire hose.
No, listen, I'm an open book. I share everything with everything, and I'm really thankful that you shared your life story with us like that. That is crazy. That is,
objectively insane,
pretty nuts what happened to you. And obviously I have some sympathy for you, but at the same time, you're kicking ass. You're very talented, and you're here, man, and you're doing it. And I love that you have that sickness in you with all the notes you take. I love I mean, you try to hit me up with a bookie. I mean, you got a bookie just because maybe DraftKings might not take your action. Like, you know what I mean? I love that shit. I like people who are like me. I like people who are different than me as well. Like my best friend and I do not think at all the same. We literally are, but I like that because he helps me grow as a person. So I like finding like-minded people when it comes to MMA, because MMA is so subjective. We might disagree on these fights. That's why we're doing that. And that's what I love. I love when people go the opposite way of me. And like the guy that or three guys ago, I can't remember what it was, who were doing the guest pick on Anakin Florian. He like DM'd me, was like, dude, sorry I went against you. And I'm like, no, dude, I fucking love it. What do you mean? One of us is gonna win.
Oh, dude, I
fucking love it.
I love hearing other perspectives. It's funny that you said your best friend and you have different perspectives. My best friend since like preschool. I'm a right-leaning guy. He's like a full-blown left-leaning dude.
Oh, that's
we just like, it's a head-on collision every time we talk about anything like related to politics. But like personality-wise, totally different. But like my best friend for like over 20 years. At this point. It's the same thing.
I'm not a religious person, and I'm a religious or political person. My family, they probably lean conservative, but I didn't come from a religious family. I'm talking about my buddy, is the far left you can go. So it's a good perspective, because most of my friends, especially on the west side of Cincinnati, they're right leaning. So I get to hear both perspectives, and it's nice to form my own opinion instead of getting fucking jammed down my throat what it is. But typically I don't talk politics just because that's a slippery slope for most people. Let's get into it. Last bit, and let's get into it.
No, I'm just saying it is good that like I wouldn't consider myself a political guy either. It's just it's great that that you're able to. I think that's the biggest issue with our country right now. Like, people can't have just open and honest conversations and understand each other's opinions, man. It's like, that's allowed. You're allowed to have separate opinions and like agree to disagree and then fucking move on. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. So you've probably, I know you're a huge Anakin Florian show, but if you haven't seen my show, that's what we're going to pick every single fight, top to bottom, right? Okay. You get a point for every, one you get right. If we're on the same tide, we both get a point. If we're on opposite sides, we're going to tally them up, see if you win. At the end of all the picks, we're going to go through lock of the night, send them home, which is someone you think is going to finish, and dog of the night. And if I pick someone as a lock of the night, whether doesn't matter, mortal, send them, or dog, you cannot pick that person. You have to find someone else. So I'm obviously going to give you honors, let you go first because you are my guest. But it's self-explanatory. So we're going to run through this card. We're going to give your picks, your opinions. You don't have to stay long on some of these cards, right? Some of these fights, like this first fight, we'll kick it right off here. Modestas Bukauskas -278 versus Rafael Sequeira +225. I think Sequeira stinks. I think this guy's a bum. I don't think he should be in the UFC. I think he's here because of the weight class he's fighting. Bukauskas, this dude had a bum run in the UFC, went out and won some fights, came back, has looked pretty good. Still's got a little bit of a chin issue. Of course, the carry a little wild clip Bukauskas. That is obviously a possibility, but I think Modestas, with his kicking, with his range, with his experience and technique, I think is going to be flawless in this fight. -278, which I got a few days ago. Trent's going to update us right now because that dude's the fucking man. He's -285. I think that's low. I really do. I think this guy could be 400, right? And I never thought I'd say that about Modestas Bukauskas, but I'm fucking saying it. So I like him here. This guy could be a good parlay piece for a lot of people. Not going to be in my parlay, but I will play him this spot here. I'm going to go Bukauskas Saturday. What do you got, bub? What you going opposite?
Can you repeat that last name for me? That not the guy that's Bukauskas, the guy that he's fighting.
Sure. It's wrong, but it's Rafael Sequeira.
Sequeira, okay. Yeah, completely agree. Stinks. The only thing that I'm very big on, dude, I don't bet debuting fighters. It's like, and I definitely don't bet debuting fighters that are coming off, that are at least don't have a contender series matchup. Contender series in UFC are the only MMA that I consume, point blank period. I spend too much of my time taking notes on past fights to hop into other promotions, and this Sequeira guy or whatever his name is just got starched by Aslan. Aslan just walked him down, knocked him out in the first round. And Bukauskas actually looked pretty good in his last fight against Prachnio. So I would agree with you. I would never lay the nuts on Bukauskas. He's too variable. You don't know which version is going to show up, but I agree with you. I would take Bukauskas as well.
Love it. Good pick. Smart guy. That's a smart guy. Let's go to the chat here. KZ's got a parlay. What do you guys think of my parlay? Yadong Song, Joan Silva, Javed Basharat, Malik Abdul Marar, and Andre Philly plus 366. Let me tell you something, KZ. I love it. I fucking love that parlay, bro. I really do. That's a nice little juice. I'm going to steal that parlay from you. What we got here? What's up, boys? What's up, BP Mr. Lives? I missed them too, buddy. I'm back. Trindaddy commenting, I love it more when BP dudes on the show disagree. It makes me think about what I know and what I don't. It's good info. That's right. You can't have everyone around you. Yes, man. Man, I love this fight talk only. What a solid dude this guy is. Man, I love this collab. Let me make a graphic for you boys. At the end of the show, come up with 2-leg parlay for UFC Seattle. Absolutely. We will do that. And yeah, we'll chat's on fire. $5 bet on that is plus 2,500. Oh, here we go. But you're getting a weird electronic noise every time, once in a while. Not constant. Mic is fine 90%, but once in a few minutes it tweaks. God damn it. The tech ghost.
I was wondering if that was me or you. Yeah.
You hearing it? See, I don't hear it.
So I hear it, so it's got to be you, right?
Yeah, it's me. It's always me.
But it's yeah. Well, like you said, 99% of the time it's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely me. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're gonna have to power through because I think if I like restart the browser or whatever, or let me just maybe unplug my mic here. All right. Unplug the mic. I'm back in. You boys hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, you're
Saturday got me. Okay. Yeah. All right. If it does it again, chat, I'm sorry. This tech ghost won't leave me alone. All right. Next up, we got Sultan Rozaboyev minus 285 versus Eric Macanio. How do you say this guy's fucking name? Macancio plus 230. This is a guy, Jared Cannonier trained guy, or trains with Jared Cannonier. Don't think he's a Jared Cannonier trained guy. He's been itching to get in the UFC for a while. He's getting a short notice fight over Sultan Rozaboyev, who's coming off a loss of Joaquin Buckley. That fight where, Joaquin wrestled. Joaquin took him down and beat him up. This dude's like 8 foot tall for this division. If I'm being honest with you, I'm a little ill-prepared. I didn't really deep dive on him. I looked at his record. I looked at 1 or 2 of his fights. I think he's an okay fighter. I think he's got some power, but I just think Rozaboyev, even though he got exposed by getting put off his back, he never gave up in that Buckley fight, right? He was fighting to the bell in that Buckley fight. I think this fight, with his experience, I mean, the guy's a veteran with 50-something fights. Is it 50? Yeah, it's close. It's over 50. Give me Rozaboyev here. The number isn't scary as well. It gives minus 285. Again, Macancio, however you say his fucking name. He's powerful. He's athletic. He comes from a good camp. Again, he's training with Cannonier. Cannonier will be in his corner. People seem to like him, but he's 34-ish, making his debut against Rozaboyev, who I think has some tools to get the finish here. I like Rozaboyev by finish, maybe by knockout. We'll see how that shakes out. But Saturday, what do you got here, babe?
Yeah, I'm not in the business of betting on 34-year-old debuting fighters.
No.
So, hey, without an appearance on Contender Series, he's also fighting out of the illustrious Tough Enough promotion. That's
classic
promotion. But he's on a 5-fight win streak.
Sure.
Listen, Rozaboyev, we're forgetting that he starched Cedricus Dumas, who's dust in my opinion, but he also starched Bruno Ferreira, who's dangerous, both in the first round. And then he goes up against Joaquin Buckley, and we've seen the career progression of Joaquin Buckley. He's really good. He's sitting at the top of welterweight right now, and it's for a reason. I'm a big Joaquin Buckley believer at 170, and I think he's a tough out for anyone. So I'll give Rozaboyev the pass there. I would lean Rozaboyev in this matchup. The more I looked at it, to be honest, the more I liked Rozaboyev. But again, just not sure I'm gonna unload the wallet on him. Yeah,
that's a good take. I mean, listen, and then KZ's telling me how to pronounce it phonetically, which I need. McConaughey, like Comico. McConaughey, that's how you say that. Thank you. Listen, another thing too, I looked it up. Rozaboyev by knockouts like plus 145. McConaughey's two losses are by knockout early in his career, but the guys, if you've been put out before, the light's been switched, babe. And Rozaboyev is an aggressive fucking dude. He's gonna come at you. I like Rozaboyev even more. Add it to my card by knockout as well. That's a send him home contender. I'm tipping my hand a little bit to you Saturday. I'm letting you know that's a send him home contender. Next up, fight just got added fucking 2 days ago, I think. Austin Vanderford, also known as Mr. Paige Van Zant. Paige Van Zant's husband, OnlyFans star. He's getting blown out there. There's videos of him fucking in the shower. Like, this guy's out there, right? This guy's dick out, right? But he's finally getting his shot.
Is that true?
Oh yeah, go look it up.
No way, man.
Oh
I
didn't
know they did like actual full blown. I thought that was like a prop to get people to like subscribe.
I'm a Redditor. I'm a Reddit guy. rumor is the she put stuff on her Instagram, or excuse me, OnlyFans, and then the stuff that got leaked where she was sucking his dick and they were fucking in the shower was a private thing, and she's very upset about it. But listen, this guy's probably getting checks from his baby mama, Paige Van Zandt. You know, she's making a lot of money doing that. But he gets a fight on short notice, -105 versus -115 versus Nikolai Valatrenkov. How I'm gonna say Nikolai because who the fuck knows? This dude fought my guy Danny Barlow last time out in a very, very close fight. Trindade really liking Austin Vanderford. I don't know much about Vanderford. So Vanderford's the man. He has such a good humor about everything. That's good that he can take a joke. Here's what he's not going to take a joke about is I think he gets absolutely bodied. Vanderford's a good grappler. I just don't think he's built tough enough. Like he quit against Musasi. He's been rocked before. Chin's been a problem. He got really good handed fights for him in Bellator. I just really think Nikolai here, who I think if he has a resemblance, a hint of a takedown offense, he's going to smoke this guy. You know, it's an even line number. I love that. They call me Pick'em Petrie, which no one does, but I'm gonna get it going again. I like Nikolai here. I think he's gonna smash him. I think he's gonna finish Austin Vanderford. I think Vanderford is a good wrestler, has some grappling, could maybe submit it, but yeah, I'm a Reddit guy, meaning I found those. Now that I find those leaks on Reddit, I got them saved to my phone in a special folder, you know, that requires a Face ID there, bud. You know me too well, Mitchell. Give me Nikolai. Give me, I don't think he's Russian, Kazakhstanian, whatever he is. Give me Nikolai over Vanderford. But it is cool seeing Austin Vanderford because I believe he was on the Contender Series and he won. It was just a little boring and they gave him a contract and he kind of bounced around here. But listen, he needs to make his own scratch, right? Paige Van Zandt's giving him allowance. I think that allowance is shrinking. He needs to make his own scratch here, and I think he's going to do it here. He's at least going to get paid to fight. I don't think he'll get his win bonus. What do you think here Saturday?
Yeah, dude. So, listen, anyone that makes a competitive fight with Danny Barlow, I'm high on Danny Barlow. What are your thoughts on Danny Barlow? Actually, Memphis, dude.
Left-handed God.
He's
left. I love him.
He's nice. He's clean on the feet. And I'm high on Danny Barlow. And if you remember Danny Barlow, I'm forgetting who he faced in his debut, but it was a knockout, I believe, in like the second or third round. And then also had a great performance on Contender Series as well. So it was
Contender Series, he knocked out a fellow knockout artist who they had like trained together or something. I think his last name was Forrest or something. I can't remember off the top of my head.
But either way, right? We went into that fight thinking, all right, this is going to be like Barlow's going to put it on this kid. This is can you repeat the guy's name again so I don't get
Nikolai.
It wrong? Yeah. No, let's just call him Nikolai. His name
Nikolai Venetenikov or some shit like that. I don't know. They'll do a better job with it on Saturday. Trust me.
Okay. So Nikolai, right? And everyone thought Barlow was going to starch him. They came out super competitive fight. Barlow looked good. He looked good as well, and it went to decision, I believe. And then everyone kind of just like wrote off Danny Barlow like he didn't just beat the guy by decision, right? So
right.
It was kind of one of those weird things. That said, Vanderford, from my understanding, I believe he fought for a Bellator title at one point and has displayed a little bit of a delicate chin. Great grappler. Again, I don't bet debuting fighters. I stayed away from.
Hey, you don't do it, people. Don't ask him.
But in the first three fights, all of them involved, you know, at least one debuting side of the fight. So it was like, I'm staying away. But yeah, I would probably lean towards Nikolai if I had gun to my head.
There you go. Gun to head Nikolai pick. I like Nikolai. I think and Trim made a good point here. The line is moving towards Austin. So if you want to hold off, might want to hold off to get a better number. That is a good, yeah, Quinlan. Joshua Quinlan was the guy he fought, debuted and knocked out. The thing about Danny Barlow is he broke his arm in that fight, and he's going out there fighting fights with a broken left arm. Like it's
crazy.
And he's like, I got to get it fixed. You know, that's what he said in the Nikolai fight. He's like, yeah, I know this fight was shit. My arm's still broken. I just need the fight, though. It's like, no, bro, like, get your arm fixed. And here's something that Fight Talk only says. Paige Van Zandt's finance. Listen, speaking of the Reddit community, there are so many guys on Reddit who are negative towards hot women. Paige Van Zandt is very hot, objectively beautiful, right? So all these Reddit guys are like, nah, maybe I would. Get the fuck out of here. You would cut off you'd kill your own mom to sniff her, to smell her hair. What are you talking about? So enough of the negative.
Waking up next to Van Zandt's also got to make you like at least 10%. better at fighting like than
It
the typical
also
right?
worries me a little bit too, because if he was waking up next to a dog, maybe he'd fight
Oh,
like a
yeah.
dog a little more, right?
Maybe, dude.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Because then he's
Yeah.
waking up next to this hot chick who's gonna love him no matter what. And he goes, if I drop this fight, I mean, I still got this chick can come to lick my wounds, literally. So I don't know. It could be an edge. It could be a double-edged sword. But
Yeah.
listen, I'm gonna root for a good fight. I don't think I'll have a lot of money on that fight. I do like playing pick'em fights, but yeah, chicken in late. What's up, boys? What's up, Rube Baker? What a fucking follow that guy is as well. What a mensch. All right, next up, Ricky Simone plus 205 is Javid Basharat minus 250. The Basharat Bros. So Kenny and I, spoiler alert for people who haven't watched Nick Florian, we were on Javid pretty confidently. I like the Basharat Bros. I think Simone's kind of cooked, right? I think he's getting a shot here in his home area. I believe he's from Seattle, Oregon, or Washington or Oregon. So it's kind of home cooking for him a little bit. They don't go to the Pacific Northwest all that much. They're giving Simone a bone here, but 3 in a row against good competition, but he just hasn't looked himself. This is a guy that's got big power, good wrestling, but he doesn't seem to use it. He is one-track minded. He throws big overhand rights. It's readable. Basharat moves really well. I think he'll get up from the takedowns, and I think he'll pick him apart. And I like his length as well to maybe clip Ricky Simone with some uppercuts as well, because the uppercuts are going to be there. Ricky dips a lot, and Basharat throws a really good coming uppercut. So I like Basharat here. He's a slime ball candidate number 1. Javid Basharat, the Bash Bros. I love it. And this line hasn't moved much. Trend just updated for us. I got these lines yesterday. This is still 205 Ricky Simone, minus 250 Javid Basharat. Are we going to disagree? Are you taking... You look like a Ricky Simone, come on kind of guy. What's up, bub?
No, I'm not in this spot. He's in the 3-fight losing streak that he was just on. I took Simone in all 3 fights. I'm fucking done with that.
Yeah, me too. I took him, I think, dude, 2 of those 3 for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. His lasso. Listen, first off, I'm curious because you keep on talking about when you lay wagers. When do you typically what's your typical process for laying bets? Do you have like a day that you're always laying bets, or is it just
So I used to have to drive to Indiana because Ohio didn't have them for a while. So I've been getting the trying to break the tendency to have to, because I used to always just wait till Saturday morning, take the kids, we go to a gas station, I get them treats, I'd be in the car placing the bets. So I tend to wait till Saturday mostly, and then now with live betting, obviously add that to my repertoire. But for the green hammer that I got and the slime ball parlay, those have already been placed. And if I really feel something deep down, like I did with Cody Steele a few weeks ago, that gets placed right away, right? That one burned me the ass. But those usually happen early. If not, it's usually on Saturday morning. I wake up, I'm off, I'm with my kids. My wife usually works, and I just bruise, a bunch of different books, see what I like, kind of go over. I don't really listen to my show back much, but I kind of go over and remember what I say. I write everything down. That way I can just remember everything. So, yeah, that's kind of what it is. I try to break the habits, but if I really love something that's early, parlay or slime ball parlay is always placed early, try to get the best number. Sometimes the number gets better, then we got to double down, but yeah, kind of throughout the week a little bit.
Yeah. I'm a big Friday, Saturday. I wait until after weigh-ins pretty much every single time. And so I was looking at the line earlier. He was a minus 260. It looks like he moved to minus 250 based on the comments that dropped. But listen, my take on this, Simone was largely outclassed by Song Yadong, and he was largely outclassed by Oliveira. Those fights realistically weren't competitive in my eyes. And Basharat, he's not overwhelmingly great in one area, but he's an extremely complete fighter, if that makes sense. Like, the guy just has a holistic and very complete skill set, which I love. He's cardio. He is a strong cardio base, and I think there's a really good argument that he beat Amin Zahabi as well. I'm not a believer in Zahabi, to be honest. I think he's stuck in the mud a little bit for 35. But my thought here is that Ricky Simone's leg is going to kind of get tuned up a little bit by the leg kicks of Basharat. Basharat loves the leg kick, and he has great grappling defense. And if he wants to, he can turn up the grappling offensively as well. So I'm on Basharat here. Yeah. I love Simone. I love that he's Native American. That kind of fires me up. I'm big on like U.S. history, and but fact of the matter is, I think he's entering the latter portion of his career, and he just hasn't. My big mantra in 2024 was bet the hot fighter, and it paid off for me. And although Basharat isn't overwhelmingly hot, we can convincingly say that Simone's cold.
Yeah, so, Simone is ice, dude. I look at this nice little comment here. Oh, Ron is so awesome. I'm a big fan of his person. Oh, you make me blush,
you got lovers on here, dude.
I got JR on here just hyping me up. I love it. All right, let's move on. Mansour Abdul Malik minus 1,600. Woo! Almost threw up saying that. Versus Nick Klein plus 680-ish, I think. Listen, I'm going to keep this short. Nick Klein, jiu-jitsu guy, has no power, no strength. Could he catch Malik in something? Absolutely. Anybody can catch anybody in anything, but he's going to get run over. Malik, his back's bigger than this fucking house I'm currently in. This dude is a absolute sick animal. He's green. He could get caught. We've seen it before. Jamal Hill, Paul Krieg, anything can happen. But I think Malik, too big, too powerful, too strong, gets him out of there within the first 2 rounds. That's how I'm going to play it. Saturday, what do you got on this fight? You like the big dog?
Are you going to play that within?
I will. I'm going to look it up right now. Yeah, I'm going to see what we got.
Yeah, so I would never touch a fight that's this far apart. Listen, I wrote that ton of power out of Abdul Malik, and he's displayed cardio issues a little bit, and he overextends himself. That being said, I wrote down that he has if this kid can tune it up, all the athletic tools are already in place. He is a athletic freak. Probably one of the last people I would ever want to actually get into a fist fight with. And then all I wrote for Klein is just hillbilly. He's just kind of a truck driver, hillbilly. Yeah. And I don't know how the UFC hasn't booked him and Zach Reese yet. Right. A battle of two dudes that definitely hate their dads. And let's get that done in the future. But as of right now, Klein is most likely going to get his head kicked into the stands.
100%. Lazy bed, obviously sharp dude as well. Fight does not go the distance. I love that. Neither fight between the two of them. Only one career fight has gone to the cards. Someone's getting finished. It's going to be Klein. Jeannie says Klein couldn't finish the sentence. 100%. If Klein has that hillbilly tough in him and he can last to round 2, Malik by knockouts plus 400.
Yeah, maybe.
If he gets out round 1, it's minus 115. Yeah. That's still better than minus 1,200. I think Malik's going to have to go out there and stomp this guy, right? I know he's green. I know he's whatever, but this dude shouldn't be in the cage with him. He should go out there and prove that. He's in Vegas. He's fucking working like a dog out there. I've heard good things about him in the room.
What that guy did to Todorovic, it looked like a hate crime, man. That was was insane. Like the Todorovic, who I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but like the fact of the matter is that was a one-way ass beating for about however long the fight lasted, dude. And I'm not gonna take this Klein dude after it was. I did love his Contender Series performance, though. That was electric. Sure. If you saw it.
I think this guy is gonna have some electric fights in UFC. I think he's gonna get fucking his head ripped off. He'll go down and wake up. Someone's going to fall on the mat and he'll fucking submit him. I mean, a la Tony Ferguson in his prime. And Tony used to do that. Trin Daddy says, I like both these guys personally. I think this line is whack, but Abdul is certainly the favorite. All right, we move on. We go to Andre Fili, minus 105 versus a fucking impossible name to say. Mela Costa, minus 115. Strong take on this fight. I love Andre Fili. And I never love Andre Fili. I'm always opposite Andre Fili. But they get this line low. Costa hasn't fought anybody. I don't think his wrestling is good enough to fuck with Andre Fili, who I think has good wrestling. He is good on the ground. He can take your back. He can take your neck. But I don't think Andre's going to get there. He's wild on the feet. Fili tends to kind of go into a fight sometimes a little arrogant, a little confident, a little cocky, may get clips. Not like he's got an iron chin. He's been put down before. But I love him here. I love this here for Andre Fili. This was almost a slime ball, but I chickened out. I pussied out. Picking Petrie's picking Andre Fili. I like him here. This is going to be something that I will wagered on him. And the line is still holding true here. I really thought money coming on Fili here. Minus 102 versus minus 118 on Costa. Do you feeling me on Fili? Or are we going somewhere else here, babe?
I'm actually so confident in Costa.
Yeah,
I'm really confident.
Go.
Me and you are. This is so, dude. Before I get into my breakdown, what do you? Because I know you reduced the amount of plays that you were giving out, or maybe it was the amount of legs that you were putting in a parlay. Right. I went with a similar mindset in 2025. I was trying to give out 6 picks every card on Twitter, and it was just stretching myself way too thin. I'm a very big believer. It's like, bet the fights that you believe in and bet them big and hard, and that's how you're gonna make a profit, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
We talked about varying opinions and how we enjoy hearing those different perspectives earlier, but my opinion, man, I never even consider lines. I bet usually pretty big on the fights that I'm confident in, and man, I'm confident in Costa, dude. I'm sorry. So he's 2-2.
I love it.
He's 2-2 in the UFC. He screwed me in his last fight. I was all over Nuremberg. I was a big believer in Nuremberg, who carries a ton of power, great wrestler himself, and he did well. He lasted well. His cardio looked good. He submitted him in the 3rd round. He's coming out of shoot box, solid grappling, and I actually think he's super underrated as well. My boy Cade Garrison seems like he's in agree with me. Yeah, he's in agree with me. But pretty funny. So I just started a Bet MMA Tips account this year. But okay. I have an Excel doc of all the plays that I picked, and I'm perfect on Andre Fili fights. I picked him. I faded him against Dan Ige when he got knocked out. I picked him against Almeida. I picked him against Cub, and then I forget it was his last 4 fights that I was all correct on. I love Costa in this spot. I think he's going to hold a grappling advantage, and Andre hits hard, dude. He's a hard-hitting 145er. He carries a ton of power, and if Costa can avoid that big power, which he didn't do against Steve Garcia, he got knocked out in the 1st round. But fucking who hasn't at this point? And,
sure.
I like Costa. I like Costa to get it done by decision. I like Costa to control a lot of the grappling. I love shootbox fighters too, so I have bias there.
Shoebox is, one of the most legendary camps ever. It's a little different than what it was in it, but they're still great. Yeah, Cade says they're a lock, and we got Foodie Booker says Costa sits when he wipes.
Does he mean pissed?
I don't know, because that's a debate I have with people at work. I said, when you poop, do you stand up and wipe or you sit and wipe? Yes. And 90% of the people, I don't know what he means. 90% of people sit when they wipe. I stand. I was taught to stand, and people are like, dude, you're disgusting. Yeah, but dude, I wipe my ass for fucking 20 minutes. My wife yells at me how much toilet paper I go through. I got to get that thing clean. So we're separate. That's the first fight we're different on. I love it. It's a big fight.
I think I'm going to give that play out too. I'm like weirdly confident in Costa.
Foodie Buttlicker is standing. No, when he wipes. He's staying firm.
I love how he's sitting on that. He's like, he's
you guys don't understand what I'm saying. It's when he wipes. Yeah. I love it. Look, I am usually wrong on Philly, admittedly. I've been right once or twice, but I don't know, man. I think Costa kind of not when he wipes. He sits when he wipes. Got it. Foodie Bucker, you're the man. No, he wipes his shit on his face the way he looks at Mitchell Zucker, you son of a gun.
I get what he's saying now. I get it. Oh, that's a different dude. Yeah, all right, that's a little fun.
Mitchell Zucker, attacking the skin disease. You son of a gun. All right, here we go. I am Kutalaba, plus 145 versus Ibo Aslan, minus 175. Ibo Aslan, king of Turkey. This dude, when he fought out in Abu Dhabi, got a big pop, got put on like the main card or feature prelim, whatever he was. Went out there, won by knockout. He's knocking everyone out. He's 14-1. He's going to run out of some steam, right? You can't sustain this long. It's a lot of first-round knockouts. Kutalaba's a guy who I just don't get. I can't get him right. I can't, you know what I mean? When I think he wins or going to win, which is very rarely, he loses. When I think he's going to lose, he wins. He can come out there and stand and bang, get put out. He can go out there and wrestle. I don't know. I think he's going to want to wrestle against Ibo here. But I think Aslan is too athletic and too big to really get messed with that. I think Kutalaba is fucking his experience in the UFC, who he's fought is vast, and it's a problem. He's got some good wins over some good dudes, big dudes as well, and Ibo is a big dude. So Kutalaba, I think, is a pretty good dog shot here. But I'm going to go Aslan. I'm going to go Ibo. I'm probably going to regret it, but he's in the slime ball parlay. I like him by knockout. I think, it could be a little bit of a hairy fight. This is the one leg of the slime ball where I'm like, should I switch it out? Bet's been placed. Can't do that. What do you think about this light heavyweight matchup here, Bob?
Listen, Kutlaba, I think people should probably base on like whether or not they bet on Kutlaba as to like whether or not he paints himself green, right?
Is he going
to be the psycho Hulk dude, or is he going to be far too measured, which he was in his last fight against this? I think it's Urslan, which is weird. He's going to Aslan from Urslan to Aslan.
Very similar names, guys they fought, similar. Yeah.
But either way, Kutlaba, again, you don't know what version's going to show up. And realistically, even he was on a little bit of a losing streak and then went into that Urslan fight, who was debuting. Again, that guy didn't have a contender series fight Urslan didn't have a contender series fight from my understanding. And it was probably the best version of Kutlaba that we've seen in the UFC up until the third round, where Kutlaba just continually displays cardio issues. And I don't bet fighters that display cardio issues. And this Kutlaba dude, his cardio gave out in a fight that he was largely dominating. And I think I hate when fighters overcorrect in the sense that like they offer an early finishing potential, and then they get in front of a different coach, and the coach just tries to like dial them in and turn them into this like super calculated fighter. I think Kulaba should be one of those guys that either that he's like a ride or die, goes out on a shield or wins the fight. And I think he's too calculated at this point, and Aslan's gonna fucking tune him up. If I'm honest,
Nice.
like I think Aslan gets it done. I think he gets it done in the distance, and I don't know what the line is on first round, finishing the first round for Aslan. But hey, like also, sorry if I'm tangenting here, but
You're good.
Aslan has displayed a really good chin in the fight against Turkali, whatever the
Yeah,
pleasure
yeah.
had.
Pleasantly, who beat him earlier. That was his own
beat
loss.
him,
Yeah.
who beat him, and then he displayed a really solid chin. And also, hey, shout out to your boy John Anik, who had a sick moment on the mic during Aslan's last fight. He was like, "Turkey, get behind your boy. His name's Ebo Aslan."
Yeah.
It was a 30-second knockout. The guy's traps. He looks like Tom Hardy as Bane and Batman. Like the guy's intimidating to say.
Yeah, right. And
Like
Turkey's not a hotbed for MMA, and this dude,
No,
this dude
it
fits the bill. Yeah, you got to line him up. I'm glad you're confident. Makes me confident in my slime ball. Jay Hundo just coming for my neck in the chat here. Did Fatty fix his deck? I mean, I'm okay, by the way, Jay Hundo. I'm all right. Legs feeling okay. Thanks for asking. And no, I haven't fixed it yet. It is a giant hole. I think I shared it on social media, and there's still snow everywhere. It snowed last night, so we got to wait a little bit. And I have a buddy at work. So one of my good friends' dad can do it, and a buddy at my work's son is building decks. So we're the whole deck didn't come down, just a giant fucking hole where my leg fell in. Lazy Ben makes a great point here. Eagles, who you thought Vitor Petrino was 100%. Vitor Petrino looks so good. That is a perfect example of
really
muscles don't buy you chin, because that dude gets folded. I watched him get knocked out by Justin Jacoby like 100 times. He just like, out. All right, here we go. We move on. Alonzo Metafield. Oh, Zoe. Minus 245 versus Julius Walker. Plus 200. Julius Walker, great follow on Twitter. He's very active. He followed me probably from the Anakin Florian. I followed him back. I went and looked at some of his tape because I saw who he was and was like, oh, let me check this up and coming fighter out. He's fantastic on the ground. He's athletic. He's tall. And I really like the range he's got here. I really like really everything about him. Besides the fact that he hasn't fought in the UFC yet. Menifield's a banger. This dude throws bombs. He's not with Pat Bear anymore. He's back at Fortis MMA, which I think is going to be important for him with his cardio, with his overall game. And Julius is going to want to get this fight to the ground, I think. But if not, use your length, use your distance, use your footwork, and kind of stay out there. However, there have been some times in the regional scene that I've seen that Julius puts himself into some precarious situations when it comes to striking. He's tough, he's durable, he's fought through those, right? He's been through some shit outside the UFC, but you got to be perfect against Menifield, who will slow down, who is not going to be as good as a grappler as you. You put Menifield on your back, you get on top, you're going to win this fight. That's as clean as it is. I like Walker here at the underdog money. Am I biased? Yeah, I'm biased because we follow each other on Twitter. I don't know him personally, but I think he can get the job done here over here against Menifield. I think he's a better athlete. And again, if the fight touches the ground, I like Walker big here. Saturday, you going dog hunting with me, bub? We going dog hunting? No, he's not. Shoot.
But wait, excuse me. I am going dog hunting. Excuse me.
Okay. Here we go.
I'm not a Alonzo Menifield believer. If I'm
there
honest.
we go.
Another guy with cardio issues, carries a ton of power, always a first round threat. Just got tuned up by Mirzakhanov, who popped for steroids. Do you see that, by the way?
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Doesn't shock me at all.
It doesn't shock me at all either. But also weird fact that was thrown out on Anakin Florian. This kid dropped 2,300 points in basketball, high school basketball. I had a buddy that was 1,000-point scorer in high school, which is ridiculous. And this kid doubled it, which is insane. I saw an interview with him from MMA Junkie talking about, he was like picking his top 5 like UFC like how he would make a basketball lineup with UFC fighters. Pretty funny picks, but either way, staying away from this fight. If I had to pick Walker, I heard he's great on the ground. Again, haven't seen much from him. And also something to consider, Menifield's up there in age. He's 38, 37 years old at this point, and hasn't looked great. The Crute fight rubbed me wrong as well. The draw. I'm not huge on him, man.
He's coming off 2 knockout losses as well. I mean, going back to your old camp, I feel like you've met the feat. Like, oh, this shit ain't working out. And you go back to where it was shiny. But it wasn't working out when he left before either. So, I think he's just searching for answers. Again, still has the power. But Walker is the real deal on top. His elbows, his ground and pound on top. He still has to work on his submissions. I'm not saying he can't submit Menifield. His submissions are still a work in progress. They're not as smooth as I'd like them to be. He's got a good head and arm. He's got some good chokes. Those were like kind of what you first learned, but it's all about positioning. And I think his positioning with his striking, with his ground and pound is serious and it's heavy. And I think Menifield can get put in a nasty spot. All right, next up, we got João Silva. This dude's fucking, the way he says his name on the audio file is so good. -500 versus Melsik Bagdasaryan. +380. I like João Silva here. I think the guy is an interesting cat. He has so many wide range of emotions in the cage. He's happy, he's sad, he's crying, he's barking at you. He's a wild dude. And I love that. I love that passion that he has, right? He obviously has big knockout power. He's walking through fucking everything. And, Melsik likes to stay from the outside. Hasn't really fought a ton in UFC. He's been in the UFC for a while, but hasn't really fought a ton. Likes to stay from the outside and kicks. He's your typical Armenian fighter. Stay outside, footwork. João Silva's going to walk him down like a dog and beat him up. I actually don't know if I'm going to see a finish here, right? This is a big number on João Silva, and I'm sure they're going to think he's going to win by knockout. I like the over, though. I think Melsik is tough enough and moves enough. They have it set for 2.5. Over 2.5 is -105. I'm a little disappointed. I thought we would maybe get a little bit better of a number by that. João Silva to win by decision is +215. I might play that a little bit, might give that a little spritz, but over 2.5 is I like. João Silva at -500. It's hard to get to. I didn't throw him in a parlay or anything, but yeah, Mitchell, he goes to the stages of grief in 50. He really does. And he comes from the Fight Nerds, which I'm not betting against that gym anytime soon. Those motherfuckers just win.
I'm not betting against them until one of those dudes loses.
Yeah,
and
right.
also Bruana Brazil, hit the bricks. What are you doing?
Yeah,
you are ruining this gym's reputation.
I think
all the dudes are undefeated.
She got kicked out of the gym before she made it to the locker room. She's walking from the cage. Like, hey, by the way, you're gone.
Later.
You're
nice,
gone.
nice knowing you.
Yeah, you're out of here, bro.
Yeah.
What do you like? You like João or you like Melsik Bagdasaryan?
Listen, not enough can be said about Gene Silva here because is it Jean or is it Gene? What
is João?
Jean.
That's what he says on the auto. He says in the auto file, like, what's your name? And he kind of looks off to the side and he goes, João Silva. And John Anik's like, I'm going to start going to the front desk of my hotel and going, yeah, it's John Anik. You know what I mean?
I love that,
it's
dude.
Sexy, bro.
Yeah, this guy's tapped. He's out of his mind. He barks at the camera, which is, definitely concerning to say the least. But hey, anyone that beats Drew Dober and Charles Jourdain within 3 weeks, 2 different weight classes, and finishes them both. I love Dober and I love Jourdain. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he took that fight, as I just said, 3 weeks and he finished both of them. It's like, man, that's a tough thing to do. The number's too high. Melsik is a very talented fighter. He's a great striker. He has great movement. And until you said, I hate overs, man. I hate overs.
You hate overs. You're an under guy, huh?
Yeah, life's too short to bet the over.
That's right, Bob.
The fact of the matter here is you brought it up on Anik and Florian, the over 1.5. I don't know what the over 1.5 line is. I do think Melsik has enough movement here to avoid like a big shot from Silva and get to decision. I like that line that you just brought up. I didn't know that Silva was that line by decision. But if I were to have to do like a pick 'em, I'm not fading Silva until he loses. That's the God's honest truth. But Melsik is a talented striker and a good mixed martial artist as well. That L against Kulabau is put an asterisk next to that. He kind of got tripped up, and then Kulabau immediately hopped on the back and was able to take a quick choke. But outside of that, he's looked good, kind of against like poor competition. I think he just fought Tucker Lux, and he looked good in that fight.
Yeah, old Tucker Nuts.
Great movement. I think to your point, I think he'd be able to avoid the big strikes from Silva. So if it's a pick 'em, I'll take Silva. If it's a prop bet, I like the over as well. But yeah, I think it's too steep of a line, man. I don't think that. I think this should be closer.
Nice. Good breakdown. All right, next up, we got Rob Font +130 versus, this is Gene. So we got a João, and this is Gene Masasato -155. Fight came together last minute. A lot of people, and I'm talking a lot of people are hitting me up going, dude, Rob Font at plus money. Rob Font at plus money. That's crazy, right? Yes, he's with Virasa Hobby now. Yes, he's looked a little bit better, but man, I'm still so worried about that takedown defense. I was in Nashville when he fought Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen was taking him down at will with a torn fucking bicep. He had one arm. The takedown offense was still a problem his last fight in the first round, and then the guy stopped going for takedowns, and he took over. Rob Font's boxing, crisp, sharp. Masato's a young, hungry, big, thick dude who took this fight because he thinks he can win. I hate that he's the favorite. So I can understand people loading up on Font at the dog money. We all love dog money. We all want that plus money. We all want to tweet out a GIF when we hit plus money to tell the world, fuck you, I got the plus money this time, right? We want to hang our nuts on it. But I'm going Matsusuto. I'm sorry. I look at the tape and I just think Rob Font, a little bit older for this division, which scares me. And I just think it is at a catch weight, but I do think he's just going to get grounded and beat up. I just don't think he's made enough improvements in his game. He's got a good guillotine choke. Don't think that's going to happen. Matsusuto is Rob going to be greased up? Yeah. The last, Calvin Kattar was greased up his last time out. I mean, Firas Zahabi, George St. Pierre back in the day, this guy knows how to throw some grease on the boys. Give me Matsusuto. I'm not looking back. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm not going to have anybody convince me otherwise. Now, Ralph Font is a Boston boy. He's a Massachusetts guy, right? So what we doing here Saturday? What we doing? You going with one of your own? What we doing?
Yeah, it's funny. So it's funny that you were at the Sandhagen fight against Font. He took that on short notice. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Sandhagen he tore his bicep, man. I think that was the injury, and then he controlled him for 20 out of the 25 minutes of the fight. I wrote off Font after that. I'm a loyal guy. I threw a shekel or two on Kattar this last weekend, simply out of principle. But the fact of the matter here is I think people are reading a little too far into the Kyler Phillips fight. Kyler Phillips and Gene Matsumoto, two very different fighters. Kyler Phillips is a guy that relies, similar to Bagdasarian, actually relies heavily on movement. He's going to pick away at you, but he's not exactly going to go for the finish. And Matsumoto here sits on punches, dude. He's a powerful kid. I like the fact that it's at a catch weight, and Rob Font is susceptible to getting taken down and controlled, man. That's the fact of the matter. I was at his loss against Diego. I kind of got lost on a tangent there, but I said it's funny that you were at the Sandhagen fight, because I was at the UFC Austin fight when he lost to Figueiredo.
Gotcha.
He looked awful in that fight. He looked shitty. And I was really impressed with Matsumoto's performance, the Argueta performance. Argueta's a strong grappler until he burns out, and he did good in that fight. You got to finish in the second round, and I'm a big believer. I think he's a very solid prospect. I think he has great striking, good grappling defense, good grappling offense if he wants to put it into play. Matsumoto is probably going to be a play that I give out, if I'm honest.
I love it.
I think this kid's solid, young, hungry, and I think Font's on the tail end of his career, unfortunately. Also, sorry to go on a tangent.
Go ahead.
Font, Leominster, Massachusetts. That's where I went to high school. So
there we go.
I should be putting some cash on him, but I'm not.
High school boy.
Also bald now. I don't know if you saw that.
He's bald?
He shaved his head.
Oh, see, we're gonna get to a next fight. I have an old T-shirt I made. We'll talk about it. But if someone went to my high school that was fighting in the UFC, I'd pick them out of just because they went to my high school.
Didn't go to the same high school. I went to a private school. I'm a loser private school.
Oh, private school.
Worst. Worst.
No.
Okay, worst. Sorry. Well, let the jokes come. But
nice. Yeah. We're both on that. It's gonna make some people upset, but listen, we're not here to make people happy, baby. We're here to pick winners, and I think Matsusuto is gonna win the winner. All right, co-main event, which to me is really the main event. I wish this was 5 rounds. Brendan Allen plus 250 versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez minus 310. Really surprised more money's coming on Fluffy since we picked this on Monday. The first time in a long time I have wrote down, I'm taking Allen, scribbled out, I'm taking Fluffy. Now I'm back to Allen because he has a better record or fought the better competition. Now I'm back to Fluffy. So I settled on Fluffy Hernandez. I like Fluffy Hernandez. And I'm going to bust this. What?
Dang, look at that thing.
Hanging on the green hammer here. The green hammer's coming back. I had to dig it out because the kids had it. I don't know how they lift this up, but they had it. So the green hammer is not as sexy as I like it, but we're here. Green hammer, Fluffy. Anthony Hernandez by decision plus 100. I don't see a finish happening for either guy. Actually, if a finish happens, I think Brendan Allen could catch Fluffy with some kind of striking because the striking is that much better. Mason saying Fluffy by sub. That could happen, but I don't see it. I see decision. It's plus money. We're throwing this fucking thing out there, and we're getting all, oh God, rip my headphones out, and I'm breaking my desk. These props, I got them just hanging on the wall.
Let's go.
I'm like Carrot Top, dude. These props. I I like Fluffy here. The first fight, you got to throw that out. Brendan, they've taken different paths in the career. Brendan Allen's talking all that good shit, wanting to fight everybody. Fluffy's like, whatever, I'll fight whoever you give me. Cancels a lot of fights, pulls out of a lot of fights. But in this fight in particular, I think the grappling's going to matter. I think Fluffy Hernandez is the better grappler. I think it's going to be close. If it was 5 rounds, I'd be so interested in seeing that. But I like Fluffy. The number's pretty high, so I'm going to shave it down by getting him by decision at plus 100. Didn't throw him in a slime ball. A lot of people love Evan Lagori. We were talking about him earlier. Loves Fluffy in this spot. He says he's going to put a lot of money on Fluffy. Kenny Florian loves Fluffy as well. Give me Hernandez. Not overly confident. I really want it to go dog here. I try to fight it, but I just really think Hernandez has come a long way, as has Brandon Allen. But I just think Hernandez is the better fighter overall. So what do we got Saturday? What do you like?
Yeah, something to consider too. Rematch. They fought in Alpha for a title in a 5-round fight that Anthony Hernandez won. Listen, if it was a 5-round fight, I would be all over Hernandez. I think Brendan Allen has kind of displayed cardio issues in the past. He displayed those issues in the Chris Curtis fight a little bit, and then Nasruddin was able to control him late. Listen, I think he has the cleaner striking. Obviously, Hernandez relies very heavily on the pace and pressure, and he probably does that better than anyone in middleweight. Right now, I had 2 guys at middleweight that were going under the radar, and that was RoboCop and Hernandez in terms of like guys that were like close to the rankings. And what about what about last week's main event? Unbelievable. Cannoneer and RoboCop. But sorry,
dead wrong on that for me, dude. I
was all over RoboCop. But either way, Hernandez. If it was, as I said, if it was a 5-round fight, I'd be laying the nuts on Hernandez here. But the fact of the matter is, I think Brendan Allen's probably the more technical striker. I do think he has good takedown defense. Okay. I think he's really good. He's not that great off of his back, but he does have good offensive jiu-jitsu. He started the fight against Nasruddin Imavov, picking him up in the center of the octagon and dropping him. He controlled the entire first round. Mm-hmm. Anthony Hernandez has displayed some weakness to the body in the past. That's the only real weakness that I've seen from him on this crazy, 6, 7, 8 fight win streak. Yeah. And going back to what I just said about the Feely, like getting everything right on Feely fights. I've rode Hernandez throughout this entire win streak outside of the Rodolfo Vieira fight. The Rodolfo Vieira fight made me a believer. That was
sure, sick. Yeah.
And, you submit that guy. I mean, what an achievement, right? I'm staying away. I'm staying away from the fight. I think if it comes down to it, I didn't know I had to pick a dog at the end of this. I actually do think there's good dog value on. Because you got to think, dude, Hernandez is going to take this fight to the ground, or he's gonna force the fight in the clinch against the fence and try to do damage there. And one of those, I think Allen has a good chance of catching him in those scenarios. Or if it goes to the ground, I think Allen has a good chance to sub him as well. So staying away from the fight. Everything about me wants to put Hernandez in a parlay, just money line. But the fact of the matter is, like, I'm a Brendan Allen believer, and just one fight against Nasruddin Imavov, one loss where he won the first round, and against who I actually believe to be he lost a fight, but I believe Nasruddin Imavov is the best middleweight on the planet right now.
High praise.
I think he beats DDP, and if he loses to anyone, I think he's going to lose to Cal Barajo. But
not Chimaev. You're not even sniffing Chimaev in any of that.
No, I think I think he can last through 10 minutes with Chimaev and knock him out in either 3, 4, and 5. But either way, not the point, right?
Sure.
I think one loss to Nasruddin Imavov doesn't necessarily define you as a fighter, and Allen was on a 6 or 7 fight win streak before that. So I'm not touching this fight. I have a ton of respect for both guys, and this is the main event in my opinion.
I think so too.
Unbelievable fight. Wish it was 5 rounds.
Such a good fight.
Yeah.
Look, Jay Hundo back here. I was going to share this on screen. At first, he said, y'all up units. I thought that might have been a fat joke, so I ignored it. And then he said, or were you podding to pod? A little bit of both, right? I keep my units to myself. You keep your units to yourself, Jay Hundo. Weekly pod, babe. Thank you for joining, Jay Hundo. Hit that subscribe button. I know you're the big fan. Now we think that should be the main event. We're getting to the real main event. It is Henry Cejudo plus 215 versus Song Yadong or Yadong Song, however you want to say his fucking name. minus 265. Slime ball candidate number 3 in this fight, and it's going to be Song Yadong. I just think when I really look at Henry's body of work before he retired, it wasn't as impressive as it was during that run. He has since came back, dropped a close fight to Aljamain Sterling. They're always going to have a close fight. And then a not so close fight to Merab, where he got his arm fucked up a little bit, but I just think he's a little bit fragile. He has some weak shoulders from years of wrestling. He had a horrible shoulder surgery. So a lot of people think he's going to come out here, he's going to wrestle. I don't think he's going to be shooting from the middle, double legs, single legs like you would traditionally see. He does a really good trip off the cage. He could hit Song with that. I think Song's would be ready for that. And if it comes down to striking, I just don't think Henry, who is a smaller guy at 135, has the firepower to knock out Song. I think Song's got a great chin, and I think Song hits hard. I think he might even be faster than Henry. And I think Henry's striking is a bit overrated, in my opinion. He needs a big win. His back's against the wall. I see people picking Henry because he's a gamer. He's one of the best fighters of all time. I love what he's done. I love what he's accomplished. But what has he done for me now? He hasn't done anything for me now. He's a podcaster. He's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He's getting paid a ton of money in the main event here. Give me Song Yadong. I don't know if we'll finish Henry because Henry's head's like this fucking big. He's got a good chin. He's been weak to the body before, but give me Song Yadong. Song Yadong in the slime ball parlay, minus 265. Doesn't scare me. I like it here. What we got? You got Triple C there, bub?
Negative, dude.
Negative.
I've never been a believer in Henry Cejudo at 135. If I'm honest, I think win or lose, Henry Cejudo should try to drop down and put his name in the hat for a Pantoja title fight. Yeah, I think that's probably his best move. But I've never been a believer at 135. I think his title is a little bit of a fluke, if I'm honest, and doesn't carry a ton of power. He doesn't have that big of a reach. His wrestling isn't like, he's not big enough to implement solid wrestling, especially against Song Yadong. Song Yadong is actually, his grappling's underrated, dude. He had I have this written down. He had 11 minutes of control time against Chris Gutierrez, and then he also had solid wrestling defense against Simone as well. Yeah, I think he's the fastest striker at 135 as of right now. Carries a ton of power. Song Yadong's my most confident play on the card.
Woo! Love that. Love hearing that.
I think he finishes Cejudo, and I think, listen, man, like this kid's striking, it's every single time that I watch it, I'm overwhelmingly impressed with how fast he is. I like that he's that alpha male, it's a grappling heavy camp. He's going to have good takedown defense. Henry's undersized. He carries a ton of power. He's going to be a big portion of my cash going on this card. And again, like all respect, Henry Cejudo's resume is so impressive, right? It's just a little long in the tooth. He's in his late 30s, and I'm a believer in Song. And also, like, how many fights do you look at when you go to break down a card? Like, do you look at like their last like 3 or 4? Are you only looking at like the most recent fight? What do you typically?
So I don't like going too far back. I hear a lot of cappers go, well, Henry Cejudo fought Chris Carrioso in like 2011. And it's like, well, I don't like to go. That's a different fighter. Yeah. So I go back to it. Really, I kind of get a feel for it. And I got this weird thing where I don't have a photographic memory by any means. I'm not saying that, but I really don't have to go back and watch too many fights like a Cejudo who was in the main event, because I remember them all like that. I remember the Cruz fight. I know it was quick. I remember the Dillashaw fight. I know it was quick. I remember the Demetrius fight, which I thought he lost actually. I remember the first Demetrius fight where he did lose and get needed the body and crippled. So I go back a little bit and kind of refresh my memory, and I just went back and just was unimpressed. I remember being impressed with the Cruz win. I remember being impressed with the Dillashaw win. But then you go back and you look at Dillashaw. The guy was a skeleton. Shouldn't have been at 125. You look at Dominic Cruz. That was his downfall. I mean, he only won one fight since then, I believe.
That's probably what messed up the shoulder, man.
You know what I mean? So
you go on EPO and all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
You're very susceptible to injury once you get off it. It probably ruined him. It ruined
100%.
Could have been the best bantamweight of all time.
And then another thing with Cejudo too is he retired right in his primes. He wanted more money, and I think he wanted to start a family. And I think I just did not like that. And then he came back because he's like, no one really cared that I left. The division
real estate
moved on.
Wasn't working, dude. That's why he came back.
You know what I mean? Like, no, he had a kid, and I think maybe more than one. Got married, but like no one came back. Hold on, Iron Kutalaba on throne shit. Future champ Croatia. You guys not going to get it done. I love that. We're not on Iron Kutalaba fight, but yeah, fucking talk your shit. So we're both on Song. All right, here we go. Before we get the locks,
let's do it.
Yeah, Cade made one good point. Cejudo's head is such a large target for Song, 100%. It's got a great chin though. Big head dudes hard to put down. And he's got that Mexican descent, which Mexican dudes are always just fucking nails. All right, so slime ball parlay for the boys, plus 203. We're over the twos. We got over the 2 hump. We got Song Yudong. We got Ibo Aslan, and we got Javid Basharat, plus 203. How do you like me now? Slime ball forever. And then we got Green Hammer, Anthony Hernandez, aka Fluffy, by decision, plus 100. Both those bets have been placed. I think Fluffy by decision as it gets closer is gonna it might not be plus money anymore. However, what I meant to tell you is I had a shirt that I came up with years ago and no one watched my show. And it said, if they're from a stand, bet $1,000. Always bet on blonde. I thought when fighters dye their hair blonde just for that fight, Blonde Brunson, Melville Gillard back in the day, Kevin Randleman, I was like, oh, these blonde dudes have something. So it's always bet on blonde. Brendan Allen dyed his hair blonde.
Woo!
So I'm a little nervous. I'm going against my system, bro. So I'm nervous, but I'm going to rock with Fluffy. But Brendan Allen dyed his hair blonde, looks fantastic. He's wearing his purple shorts that he's been wanting forever. That's a dope dude. And then Hernandez to win by decision, plus 110. So Trent's got even a better line out there for people. So that's all my stuff. So Saturday, what we're going to do is we're going to go through. You can either go mortal lock first, dog lock first, send them home first. Whatever your most confident play is that I cannot take from you, you can go first. So have at it. The board's yours. It's open. You can take anybody.
You just said it, man. It makes me really, really happy when for listeners, we did not talk about this beforehand, but my mortal lock or my lock of the night is exactly what you just said, minus Ibo Aslan. I'm on Javid Basharat and Song Yudong parlay. That should be about even money, maybe just under. I'm most confident in those two dudes. And I think they get it done, dude. I'm not sure. I don't bet methods. I'm a very big. I'm very simple when I bet. I bet fighters straight up, and I parlay. And if I parlay them, it's always a 2-leg parlay. I don't go any higher than that. I'm going to be on Song Yudong parlay with Javid Basharat, as I mentioned earlier. I think Simone's tailing off, and I think Javid is very complete, and then also Song Yudong just carries a ton of power, and pretty much same reasoning for Cejudo. I think he's tailing off. He's up there in age, and I like both of those. So my if I had a mortal lock, Song Yudong, Javid Basharat parlay for roughly even money.
You're trying to hack my game here Saturday, and I don't appreciate it.
Do I need to add a third?
No. Just one fighter. You got to pick one fighter. No parlays, no props. One fighter that I can't steal from you. Okay. Mortal lock. So between those three guys, three guys.
Can I say Yudong, even though you already said Yudong?
No, yeah, go ahead. Yudong's yours. Okay, Song Yudong, mortal lock.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry, I should have been more clear. I should have probably texted you the rules. So my mortal lock. So I'll go mortal lock too. I'll go mortal lock with you. Man, there's a lot. I mean, obviously I could go who are in my parlays, but that's kind of not fun, right? Like going with your parlays. Should I do a pick 'em? You know what? I like Modestus Bukauskas. You know what? Start the night off with a mortal lock. Yeah, get the fucking crowd going. Mortal fucking lock right off the bat over that bomb Brazilian. Let's get the crowd going. By the way, so again, I did a horrible job explaining. So the way the point system works, every fight you get right that I don't have, you get a point. Every lock you have, you get an extra point. So your mortal lock hits, Song Yudong wins. Even though I have Song Yudong too, you'll get 2 points, I get 1 point. You see what I mean? So the locks carry for points. That's why you can only pick one fighter. Okay? So I know it's a little confusing, buddy. I'll break it down a little bit more if you need to. So the board is yours now. I got my mortal lock, Modestus Bukauskas, who you can't take. And then you got your mortal locks. So you can either do send him home.
Send him home early.
Little Johnny Anik, send him home, which is a guy you think's going to finish. Or dog lock, which...
Hello? Okay, this is Dog.
That's Dog Bounty Hunter. You know what I mean? Dog Bounty Hunter. So whatever you want to pick, Bob, it's all you.
Am I an asshole if I take Mansour Abdul Malik to finish?
No, that's a great bet.
He's a
you
minus 1500.
Play to win, bro.
I don't know why you wouldn't take him. He's a minus 2 billion.
Yeah, and then if you went to the second round, that's plus 400. That's a great fucking bet.
If I have to take a fighter to finish, obviously, like free money, dude. Like,
here's what I do here. I don't apologize for the lines I take. Don't ever apologize for picking winners. Did you win 5 cents? Did you win $15? Doesn't matter. You lost, I won. Fuck you. That's how I think. All right.
Yes.
My send them home. Whoo! I have a few in my head. Let's go Nikolai over Vanderford. I just think
these are
Vanderford's
surprising to me, man.
I just
You're
think
early in the card.
I could have went Ebo again. He's a part of the slime ball, so I want to kind of step away from what I'm already giving out.
Yeah.
Nikolai again is a big, strong dude, and I just think he could on Vanderford on short notice. I think he can clip him here. All right, so the only thing left is dog lock, bub. That's all you. Pick your dog. The dog that's barking.
I think Brendan Allen should be a plus 250 against no middleweight on planet Earth, to be honest. Like, if I have to take a dog, I'm not on many, as I look at my plays right now, I'm not on realistically any dogs for big money in this card. Like, I guess you could argue maybe I would take that Walker guy, but again, I stay away from debuting fighters. Brendan Allen has any chance to beat Anthony Hernandez here. Would I put my life savings on it? No. Am I going to bet it? Probably not. But that price plus 250 is hard to ignore.
Too good.
So yeah, if I have to pick a dog, I would pick Brendan Allen.
And that's a good pick because we've only picked 2 dogs, and my dog was Walker. So that's the only guy I got is dogs. Yeah. And for the dogs out there, for my guy Timbo, we'll play this one.
A dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats.
We need more dogs. Pick 2 dogs. Hell of a card. Seattle. Listen, they had so many fights fall through. I'm glad Seattle is getting, it seems like a really cool city. I've never been there. I had a friend that moved out there and worked out for many years. He said it was a great city. I'm glad they're getting this action. Pacific Northwest doesn't get a lot of love. Tatum Temple, who does a lot of stuff for me on behind the scenes, bet MMA tips, whatever. Huge fan, usually in the chat. She's out there in Oregon. Don't know if she's going to make it up to Seattle. I'm sure that's farther than I think it is. But listen, Saturday, or I'm going to call you Joe. I know, sorry, I don't want to expose you.
Joe,
your name's Joe.
I also, do you follow Barstool at all? Barstool?
Yeah, you know who you sound like?
Who?
You sound like Dana Beers to me.
Oh, really? No,
I love Bart.
Never heard that, but
I love Bart. You have that because he's from Massachusetts.
I think he is. Yeah,
yeah.
I think he is.
He's got that he doesn't have the Mass accent too much, but there's like a hint of it in there, and you kind of got like that a little deeper register at times. You give off Dana Beer vibes just in your voice. You don't look like Dana Beers,
but so Jersey Jerry then.
Yeah, Jersey Jerry. Yeah.
Okay, so he like 2 or 3 years ago he flipped out during March Madness and he started screaming, "I am March."
I am March. Yeah.
Okay, that's why I named the Twitter I am Saturday because I was whatever trying to flex I got to pick right. I scream I am Saturday. I think that's just like one of my favorite clips on the internet.
So
and
good. You didn't ride with me. I am.
Exactly. I love
what the fuck are you talking
hilarious
about?
clip. And so either way, I was I kind of just made it in reference to that, and then people were just straight up calling me Saturday. So
yeah. Well, again, some people come on and they live behind this wall of anonymity. I didn't know what your job was or if you want to be protected. I mean, Timbo kills people, right? I still don't know if Tim is his real name, right? Yeah. He's out there murdering joints, right? So I didn't want to expose you, but your name's Joe. You're a great guy. You killed it. We're going to do it again as well. I saw some guys in the chat. They're going to be hopping on with me in a couple weeks as well. And we're going to maybe do one thing where we're just get everyone together. We're going to do like a 4-person stream. Me, you, Mitchell Zucker was in the stream. He wants to do it. I know Mason Law might be starting his own podcast soon as well. We're going to get the boys on. We're just going to chop it up, have a really fun card. But thank you so much, Joe, for hopping on. You're the absolute best. Follow this man on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I am Saturday. Great follow. Very funny dude. Sharp guy as well. And thank you for sharing your story with us as well, brother. And I have become even more of a fan of you now that you did this.
I'm just so appreciative of your platform, man. Yeah, the invite didn't need to happen. You need to host me. And thank you so much. And honestly, as I said, I've been listening to you for 2 years. I felt like I know you. And super, super cool opportunity. And just very, very thankful, man. Thank you so much. And would love to hop back on, dude.
Absolutely.
Anytime, hit me up and we'll do it, dude. So, thank you very much. Best of luck. Win some money for me.
Win some money, man. Yeah.
And again, thank you so much, man. Great talking to you in person, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You're the man. Maybe we'll get a fight together one day, hopefully soon. Thank you so much, Joe. Chat, you guys were unbelievable. 99 plus more comments in the chat. Lazy Bed, Trin, all the guys out there are just unbelievable. Mason, you guys are great. Let's do it, boys. I'll see ya.
All right, brother.
See you, bud.
Yeah, dog.
Oh,
We
there
don't
it is.
need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more